Imagine if you were stronger and you could, back yourself down a little bit closer to the rim. I'm not saying be a brute and be like Joel Embiid and these other guys who like to play below the basket, but right under the rim. I'm not asking that for you to do that, but if you just are able to position yourself better on the floor, the closer you are, the easier the shot, right? If you're shooting a 13, 14 footer fadeaway, that's going to be a harder shot to convert on a regular basis than a shot that you would take from 7 or 8 feet from the basket, right? Or even closer. Now you're involving the glass. You have more options in terms of how you can score. And when the pressure is jam-packed, these guys are just bullying you, they're stronger than you, it weighs on you. And I saw you mentally checked out because of that from game 4 and on. And you couldn't carry the team over the hump. That's why the Warriors were on the brink of elimination. You were a huge part of that reason. If you were simply stronger, all of that could have been avoided. So it's like when you need a bucket, right? You don't want to be taking a fucking 18-footer from the field and hope that it goes in. When the pressure is on your shoulders and you need to take back that lead and you need to get a bucket at all costs, you need to cut the bullshit and get to the basket, the closest to it as you possibly can, and make sure that you get a bucket that is going to be a bucket. He wasn't able to do that. And I just work on your core, man. The core is the essence of your body. And I don't know to what extent that you work on it. I'm sure you work on it, but you need to work on it harder. You need to work on it to the point where you're exhausted every day. Work on your body like a professional would, the way Stephen Curry does. You see the way he is able to hold ground. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but in game 7, I saw him boxing out PJ Tucker, and he was doing a bang-up fucking job on that. And he's so much smaller than KD, he weighs so much less than KD, and yet he had the strength to fight Tucker down there. He had the will to. He trusted his strength enough to be able to fight down there. KD doesn't have the strength to fight down there, so he doesn't even try it, man. Why? He knows he's gonna lose if he tries. And it's not even gonna be close. I don't know if it's a genetic thing. I don't know if it's because he's so tall and lanky that he can only get so strong. I could be wrong about this. I'm not a scientist, but just from my own personal experiences too, I noticed the difference in my game. And it is profoundly different when I'm this kind of strength versus I've worked on my I hit the gym 3 times a week, and I'm now up here, and things just become much easier for me in many different aspects of the game. But when I started working on my core, when I started doing calisthenics and just reached a new level of core strength, it just makes you so much stronger, man. Again, I'm not talking about bulking up. I'm just talking about pure strength, okay? Your body strength, that you, this is just the kind of strength that you can't get from just bulking up and lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? Doing resistance work, doing a lot of resistance work, okay? Resistance bands and pull-ups and push-ups of different varieties. It's as simple as that. It sounds simple, but kill yourself doing those things, and you'll be amazed at the strength that you can attain from doing those things. KD needs to do it because we saw how vulnerable he can get when the physicality of the pressure just weighs down on him too much. He can't overcome that. He didn't know what to do. He gave up the ball in, what was it, game 5? He gave the ball up to Clay when he had no business passing the ball to Clay there. You know, they brought you there to be the finisher. They brought you there to be the insurance policy for Steph. Steph was on a minutes restriction to start the series because he was coming off that MCL injury once again. He got strong. Luckily this year, he got stronger and stronger as the series went on. And thank goodness for that, because if he didn't, if he wasn't able to, if he remained himself the way he was in the first 2 games, they would have lost that series. KD was not going to, you know, he wasn't going to carry them over the hump. He was not going to be that insurance policy because he wasn't strong enough. And they couldn't rely on him in that regard. I'm just glad that in Game 7, when the pressure was taken off of him, when Curry went on that run, because for some reason Mike D'Antoni put Ryan Anderson into the game, which is that's a criminal offense. That tells me that Mike D'Antoni, he understands offense. He understands how to get the most out of his best offensive players. But he doesn't understand defense at all. You can't put Ryan Anderson in that situation. Are you crazy? Ryan Anderson? That's in front of Steph Curry? You put him in there at the same time as Steph, where they can switch him onto him. Most of the damage that they did in that third quarter, fourth quarter, whenever he came into the game, most of the damage was done when Rhino was in the game. It's insane. You, as a coach, can't allow that situation to happen, bro. You can't put a guy in there where their best player looks at him and is like, oh, you just put in barbecue chicken in here for me. Let me eat that. I'm going to go to work on that. You can't put your team in position in a Game 7 to allow that to happen. That's your fault, Mike D'Antoni. You failed to give your team a better opportunity to win that game. I don't care how shorthanded you are. I understand guys needed a breather. And I actually like that you used Joe Johnson a little bit. You can't use Ryan Anderson in there. You might as well use Nene, because, you know, at least Nene can be physical. Ryan Anderson, what can he do to stop Curry? Absolutely nothing. Whether it's out from the three-point line, whether he drives right by him. I mean, this is insanity. If you were a Rockets fan, I feel for you. I feel for you when Mike D'Antoni did that. You know, the guy comes with these crazy positives and negatives. The positive is that he unlocks the the offensive prowess of these players who are capable of that. You know, that's awesome. I don't think any other coach has been able to do what Mike D'Antoni has been able to do in that regard. Steve Nash was never anything close to what he was before he played in D'Antoni's system. Jeremy Lin, are you kidding me? Mike D'Antoni helped create Linsanity, you know, by allowing Lin to do what he does best, you know, and that's the case for almost all the guards that ever played for Mike D'Antoni. But he doesn't understand personnel. That goes for Steve Kerr too, but you know, Steve Kerr has a great concept. You know, he brought in this amazing concept of body movement, ball movement, motion offense, and being unselfish and all these things. But he doesn't know how to handle personnel. He doesn't know how to get on guys the way they need to be gotten to. And he doesn't understand that there are certain guys that you probably shouldn't play. You know, in 2016, he played Ezeli, who was clearly scared out of his mind, but he couldn't even catch the ball. You know, how can you complete a dunk if you can't even catch the fucking ball, right? So these coaches, they have this thing where they don't understand personnel and how to use certain guys a certain way and how they need to avoid using certain guys a certain way because of the different advantages that might create for the other team. So I don't want to ramble on too much longer about this, but Kevin Durant, man. I don't know, you know, it's unlikely that he'll ever see this video. And from what I've seen, when I listen to him talk to like Bill Simmons and all this stuff and podcasts and all this stuff, I feel like he's a sensitive character. It's hard to say these things to him, but he doesn't know who I am, so what does it matter, right? You know, and I don't know who he is, but you know, he's out in public, you know, and the cameras are all around him, and it's like a reality show, except this is a reality show about the game of basketball, and I get to watch all the different aspects of it, and that includes the psychological makeup of these players as well, you know. And it is what it is. I'm gonna have opinions about you based on what I've seen, and I'm just being honest about that. And I'm a Warriors fan. I'm a Warriors guy, and as a Warriors fan, I want to see all the guys on the Warriors thrive. I want to see them do well, and that includes Kevin Durant. And I feel like my suggestion would help take his game to new heights. You know, yeah, you can't. If you're stronger, they're not gonna live. The other teams are not gonna live with putting the smallest guy on you, thinking that that's good enough. Like, you know, if you make that fadeaway, hats off to you. But they'll live with that, you know. Don't let them live with that. Make them feel stupid for putting a guy who's a foot shorter than you on you. Imagine if they put like a Rondo or a Holiday on a Joel Embiid. Is that acceptable? No, because he's gonna plow right through them, right? It should be the same case for you. I'm not saying be a brute force, but be strong enough to get the positions that you want so that you can take more efficient shots. And I'm telling you, it's going to help you defensively as well. And it's going to make you want to challenge yourself to box out somebody who you think is maybe strong or even stronger than you. But you can still put up a fight because you have strength as well. Okay? And, man, if you win that battle, you box somebody out and you get that rebound, that's a powerful feeling. And it's a good feeling. You know, it took some sacrifice, it took some work, you know, your back might hurt a little. But the fight, to get into that fight and win that fight, that's a good feeling, man. That's a different kind of good feeling. And it's always good to feel strong and powerful on the court. So, I don't want to beat it to death, but I have. That's Kevin Durant's biggest issue. And that's a good thing he ran into that issue, because maybe he's run into it in the past. I'm sure he has, you know, against guys like Tony Allen and what have you. But, I mean, this should be a clear-cut lesson for you, you know. If you don't ever want to get exposed like this ever again, and you were exposed, make no mistake about it. My bad, I gotta do something real quick here. Okay, back. Yeah. I would say that Kevin Durant has a new level that he could reach easily. And it's all a matter of how great he wants to be. If he's okay with being what he is right now, you know, not being anything close to LeBron at this point, to be honest with you. The way LeBron has expanded his game. Regardless of how I feel about whatever player LeBron is, I always respect and appreciate when players come back with something different and improve their game in some way. There's so many different aspects of the game, and you can always improve yourself. And if you're not improving yourself, what are you doing? You're just satisfied with whatever role that you got. You don't want to get better at something and be a bigger factor on the court in so many different ways. It's all a matter of how great you want to be. If you're okay with it, you used to always complain about, like, I'm tired of being number 2 to LeBron's number 1, right? Well, if you're tired of it, then get stronger. And teams will play you differently. And now that you've improved that aspect of the game, now you'll have to improve the passing aspect, because you'll get double teamed a lot more. They're not going to let you off the hook with just letting you do whatever you want down in the paint area close to the rim. The reason they can live with you doing that now is because you are you know, far away enough from the rim where they can live with those fadeaways. It's still tough to live with, but they can live with it. You know, give them something that they can't live with. You still have, it's still in your control how great of a player you truly want to be. As a Warriors fan, and you being on the Warriors, I want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And hopefully we'll see that. I don't think we have to worry this coming round, because LeBron doesn't play defense on you. You guys are like buddies and shit. Like you, LeBron, Carmelo, like when you guys face each other, you don't guard each other like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't put a body on each other. You don't get crazy like, oh, good luck trying to score on me because I'm going all out on you, dude. I'm going to give everything I got to try to stop you. I don't see that from those guys. So last year was the same thing. LeBron was barely on KD, you know. He just let KD go off, do whatever he wants. He run right to the rim for dunks and all this stuff. No wonder he won Finals MVP, man. Like, nobody was on him. There's nobody who put a body on him. There's nobody who could stop him from doing whatever he wanted to do. And it was so much easier for him to do whatever he wanted to do because they were busy trapping Stephen Curry and allowing everybody else to play 4-on-3 and whatever. What have you. So I suspect the same thing will happen in the upcoming series with the Cavs. You'll probably win Finals MVP. You'll be a 2-time Finals MVP. You'll be a 2-time champ. Hey, that's more than good enough, right? But you could be more. You could have been the, I don't know if you could have been the MVP of this series. It's a real tough series for you, but at the very least, you wouldn't have been such a liability. You know, you were of little help out there. You know, you loosened up in Game 7 when Steph took all the pressure away from you. All that pressure on your shoulders, it was gone. Now you're just free to be yourself. Now those shots right over Eric Gordon felt so much easier. You felt like yourself again. You should never allow something that you can control to take that control of your mind away. All right? You shouldn't let the physicality of the game allow yourself to get psyched out from it. You know what I'm saying? And that's in your control, as far as what I can see. I don't think you're anywhere near maximum strength, as far as potential-wise, how strong you can get. You're nowhere near it. See what they can do for you, or don't. Be satisfied with what you got, because what you got is incredible, man. You haven't made. Either way. But you're incredibly fortunate to be on the Warriors. If you weren't, I don't see you winning championships. You know, Finals MVP, it goes without saying. You're not winning it. How are you going to get Finals MVP, right? That's what I think. So don't take offense to this. You know, I'm just telling the truth from my vantage point. That's what I think. If you disagree, fine. Who cares? I'm just another guy. But if you have an open mind, and if you have a willingness about yourself to become better, maybe change your diet. I don't know what your diet is, but looking at you, I don't want to be judgmental, but it doesn't seem like you have the best discipline when it comes to maybe whatever you eat consistently. All those things can help enhance you on the court. So a good diet will help you achieve a better state of your body. It will. So if you eat a lot of junk, if you eat a lot of trash foods, cut that shit out, man. Be disciplined. Discipline yourself like this. Treat your body. Take care of your body like, that's all you got, man. Whatever you dream of doing on the floor, it's all up to how your body moves, right? and your body moves better when it's in better condition. That's common sense. So that's what I think. Whatever. Take it or leave it.